Hey, this is Yasir Red Clay Detailing. I would like to talk to you about paint thickness, and I'm going to use my gauge to demonstrate it, show you how thick paint is. But first, let me explain to you the makeup of paint. Modern paint is basically you have, of course, the metal or plastic in some cases, whatever the material underneath where you're starting with. Then you have a primer, the color, which you see here is the orangey rusty color. Then you have a clear that goes on top of that. So you have three paints, levels of paint: the primer, the color, which is called the base coat, and the clear coat. And the gauge actually measures the distance from the metal up through the levels of the paint. So if there's any body work, any bundo, or more thickness, more layers of paint that's been added after, say, an accident or something like that, it can typically measure that. This one only does metal and steel and aluminum, but there are gauges that work on non-ferrous, like carbon fiber, things of that nature. But this is just for metal. But just to give you an idea, I'm going to use paper, a dollar bill, and some plastic just to show you the difference in the thickness and how thick your paint is. You see how thin this paper is? Your paint is probably not much more than this, surprisingly. We're going to measure in mils, M-I-L-S. That's a thousandth of an inch. So you figure an inch is about this much. It's 1,000th of that inch. So I can't even demonstrate that with my fingers. It's just that small. So we're going to first do the measurement of the paint, bare paint, and the goal is try to stay in the same spot each time. That way you can get accurate reading, as close to accurate as possible, because you can either move just the hair and the paint measurement will change. But just for the sake of this, we're going to go right here in front of this cut where the doors meet, and I just simply put the gauge down, and we got 4.68, and I'm going to put the paper under. We got 8.05, so we've gone up about 3 mils with the paper. So we started at 4.65, now we're at 8.05. And if you want to see 8.05, and just to give you an idea where we started at, so about 4.22, we move from the area. I don't have a mark on there where I'm actually measuring the exact location, but so we're going to go with the plastic now. So we got the paper out of the way. I'll go with plastic, just the grocery bag. I'm going to do just one. We're still at 4.22, and I'm going to clear it out so there's no tricks. We're at 0. .56. So the bag is only about 0.10. We're going to double it over to see what we get. So it went from 4.21 to 4.8 to 5. So the bag is not very thick at all. It's only probably half a mil, if that. So it's not very thick. So we're gonna zero it out again, and let's get a dollar bill. Most of us think as a dollar bill as being fairly thin, which is it is, but it's thicker than normal paper. So we're gonna start with our measurement. 4.19. We got 4.19. Simply gonna lift it up. Let's try it. went from 4.19 to 8.31. So roughly 4 mils. So this dollar bill is about as thick as your paint. Is this paint is, because I've had paint as high as 6 mils, 5 mils. I was working on one recently, it was between 5 and 6 mils thick. So just consider, and that's all the layers of paint. That includes the clear coat, the base coat, and the primer. So the clear coat is actually even thinner than that. There's no way for me to actually tell you how much clear coat is left. So when you're buffing on a car, polishing, sanding, all that diminishes the level of the clear coat. So it's very important to reduce the amount of abrasion that's going on your car, polishing it. Don't get in the habit of just going crazy polishing, because you're actually going from here to like this, just to give you a drastic demonstration. But your paint is going from here to down as you continue to polish on it and sand it and things of that nature. So you want to be very careful if you don't have a meter and don't know how to measure it, or you hire a detailer and they just go crazy buffing on it and they don't know how much paint you got on it. And then say for instance you have a car that's been repainted, so you may have a door that got damaged and they went to a body shop and they just repaired the door. So there's a chance that you're going to have more paint, more color, more clear coat on that particular paint, on that particular panel, than you would say on your roof. So you could probably go from 4 here to maybe 8, 9. I've seen something like 13 mils. So you got a lot more paint. That doesn't mean you have more clear. It just is thicker paint. You still may have primer. You still got primer, the color, the base coat, and the clear coat. So it doesn't tell you exactly how much clear coat is left. Is on that 13 mils of paint. So you figure you measured the dollar bill about 4 mils. So you got something about 13 mils. So you got about $3 worth of paint thickness on your car. Just to give you some perspective. So just take $3 and put it on your car. Just measure it up. That's about how much paint you got on it. So be very careful about polishing and buffing on your car and sanding and things of that nature. So you want to have someone who knows what they're doing and is not going to automatically take a polisher and go crazy on your paint, and hire someone who knows what they're doing and is going to take measurements and tell you whether or not it's advisable to polish on your paint, because you may not have much left. Because I've seen some panels may have 2 mils, and some even come from the factory with 3 mils, 4 mils. So you don't have much to work with. So be very careful about polishing on your car, sanding on your car. Thank you for watching. This episode was paint gauges and paint thickness.